If you've been looking for an improved clone stamp, look no further. Let me introduce my content-aware Blemish Blaster. Welcome to SETI Astro. I think we've all struggled with CloneStamp, trying to get our radiuses defined to get rid of these artifacts, right? So I know that you can only go up to 249 in CloneStamp. You got to kind of define a point, and then you got to kind of blur it around, see what you got, and inevitably there's some line or it got something else in there, and you're kind of undoing and resetting some spots to see if you can make it a little bit better, or trying to redefine the radius better, and then you're getting just weird results, and you're always undoing until you finally end up like, oh, that one's real bad. Until you inevitably finally get something that you're kind of okay with, and you move forward. So let's introduce my new content-aware blemish removal tool. We're calling Blemish Blaster. Let's step through how it's actually going to function, and then we'll just pull up the script and demonstrate what's going on. So we start out, maybe you did Star Exterminator, or you have an image and it has like a little optical flare from something in the optical train that you want to get rid of. So what we're going to do is define a circle around it, and then what the script is going to do is look at the 6 tangent circles to it. It's going to calculate the medians of everything. It's going to find the 3 circles that have the closest median to the center image, and then it's going to go ahead and pixel by pixel take the median value of those 3 sample points and then put it in the center circle. So what that's going to effectively do is take the structure and content of the 3 tangent circles to the center one in order to heal the blemish that's inside there. It'll also ensure that the corrected image in the middle is the right brightness, and it has similar structure to the surrounding areas. That way, if you're near, like in this case, where the surrounding areas, there's some dark sides, there's some bright sides, you really need the ones that can feed into it properly, much like you would have to do with CloneStamp. Find some good reference point that you're going to use to try to heal your blemish. And then after it's done running, it's really hard, you'd be really hard pressed to even show me, if you just had this image, where that optical flare was in the first place, right? So that's the goal of this tool, is to remove those artifacts, remove those blemishes, keep the structure around that particular circled area similar to the surrounding areas, and replace it. So here was our before with the optical aberration in it, and after. So it just kind of removed it and put in, that surrounding structure to heal it up. So let's go ahead and open the script and look through some examples. So this is that same Starless Pleiades image I had with the optical flares, and then you could see off to the left here there's a large area where there was a bright star. Star Exterminator removed the star but left these internal reflections from the micro lenses, and that's bigger than 250 pixels. So even with CloneStamp, you'd be like painting over that whole area to try to deal with it. So let's go ahead and go script SETI Astro Blemish Blaster. It's going to pull up. It does have instructions off here. You could select your image. It will default to the active image. We're going to shift click and drag to define our circles. Be sure you release the mouse click before you release the shift key when you're actually defining it. You could place multiple areas of multiple sizes down at once. And then, similar to CloneStamp, we're going to execute them within the preview first, get it how you like it, and then we're going to push those changes to the main image. You could use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and if you have to run STF, there's a button to do that, so you can keep it in the linear state if you want. So let's start with some of the easier ones down here. All right, we had these little optical flares. We're going to shift click, drag, release the mouse, and just hit execute there, and it took care of that one. We'll go ahead and do the same here, and that one's gone as well. You could undo to get you back originally, and like I said, you can go ahead and actually just define multiple ones at once, and you could hit execute, and it's going to take care of them all at the same time. So that way, if you go through your whole image, click it around a bunch, it'll go ahead and remove those blemishes and artifacts for you. And then we also had this big guy over here where we're going to want to define a much larger area around it. And for really large areas, don't be surprised if it does take it a little bit to do the blemish removal, but just hit execute and it'll run through the process. And it took care of even the large one there. So it could really be good to help clean up your images. Now let's look at an example that we showed earlier where you're like inside nebulosity, right? So this will be a harder case to try to find what you want to replace it with, but just let it do it, right? We'll just execute on this little area here, and it's gone. And again, you'd be very hard pressed to know anything was there. And then when you're complete and you want to push those changes to the main image, be sure to click Apply to Main Image. Now that's going to go ahead and actually put those changes on your main image here in the background. So let's go ahead and remove these. And we can show, here they are in the background on the main image. We've removed them in the preview here, and then when you click Apply to Main Image, it pushes those changes to that main image in the background. And then, be sure to click Exit. There's a lot of temporary images in the background that it's utilizing in order to run the script. So exiting like this will ensure that it cleans up all those extra temporary files that are in the background and frees up your processing power for other tasks. I do also want to say that in the Blemish Blaster itself, I do have a preview, much like the CloneStamp, of what feathering and opacity are doing for you. If you turn the opacity way down, it's going to allow parts of the original image to come through. So here, let's look at an example. There's this little galaxy off in the distance here, but let's have the opacity turned down. And you could see it just dimmed it up a little, right? And then opacity all the way back up. And that's how it removed it. So the opacity is how much of the original image is going to be able to be bled through. And then feathering on the sides is how close to the center and far away from the center the feathering effect will have when you apply the blemish correction. Here's another one where this was an oxygen part of California, and you can see that there's just a ton of stellar remnants left over. So let's go ahead and pull up the Blemish Blaster. And in this case, it's linear, so you'll have to click Auto STF. And then it goes ahead and applies an STF for it. And again, you can shift click and drag, define your areas. There's one there, there's one here. There's a big one here. Right, there's this one here. There's this big guy here. And then just once they're all defined, click execute and let it run. and they're gone. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and push those to the main image. And now those changes are made on the main image as well, and your image is still in its linear state. As always, I've updated my website, zediastro.com, under PixInsight scripts. I have the repository URL. And then if you do want just a standalone file, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I'll have my new Blemish blaster there as well. Well, I hope you guys find a lot of great uses, and this tool really helps you make a lot better blemish corrections than what you were able to accomplish with CloneStamp. I want to thank my channel members again for helping me work through the beta and giving a good test out. If you'd want to become a member, we'd love to have you. Please comment, like, and subscribe.